Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Nikhil Karmarkar. I am the marketing analyst intern at Nextwave Mobile Insights. Today I'll be walking you through our interactive Tableau dashboard, which I have created over here. So I have created it based on the information I received regarding the top smartphone models brand. Their career and the years they were uh, the years when their sales were observed. I got this information from Microsoft in a file from Microsoft in a Microsoft Excel. So I just put it together, and based on that, I created the various charts. Which you will see it over here. So this Tableau dashboard visualizes smartphone sales data from 20 year of 2020 to 2022 across the United States. So this dashboard is designed to highlight major trends in brand performance, career partnership, operating system usage, and regional sales distribution. Everything here is aimed at helping you make smarter marketing, supply chain, and product launch decisions. So here you will see all of these charts which I have created based on information I received, and you'll see I have this chart separately created by information together by putting it together. I created it as per the information I received and put it together in terms of dashboard. And so I'll walk you through over each and every segment, its observations, the marketing strategy I propose, and the conclusion. So let's start with the first chart over here. Let's get a visualization. So here you will see the first chart I created, like for top 10 smartphone models by sales. Second one is total sales by brand, the sales by release year and carrier, total sales by operating system, sales by carrier, and regional sales distribution. At the top of this dashboard, you'll see I made a filters like brand based on the information I have. The year called start date and end date, which I have termed it as 2020 2022. The zone cells across the United States, the carrier, uh, and yeah, all of these filters based on I created to make a visualization on this Tableau dashboard. So let's start with the first chart, which says the top 10 smartphone models by total sales. So here in this segment, I sorted out based on the top unit sold to the lowest one. So here in this case, you'll see the iPhone 14 over here. It is leading the chart with over 4,400 units sold, and it is followed by Motorola G and Google Motorola G Power and Google Pixel 6. So, and notably, you'll see here Samsung Galaxy A12 and S21 also make the top list, reflecting Samsung's brand appeal in the mid-range segment. A key takeaway from here where we can get is Apple devices here uh, and Apple devices and value-oriented Android devices over here, and these Android devices models, they both dominate the market, and it suggests that there's a dual market opportunity both for Apple and uh, Android system as well. Sorry, Apple and the Android system. Uh, yeah, this is what it shows. Let's take on to the next chart, which is the total sales by brand. You'll see I have various circles over here with bigger size or smaller size, and these circles have been so each circle represents one brand and total units sold. You'll see Samsung, Xiaomi, Google, Motorola, OnePlus, Apple over here. So you will see that in this case, if there's a brand which has a bigger size, that means bigger size of circle, it means the more units sold. So here here you'll see Samsung has the biggest circle, that biggest unit sold, and Apple with the lowest unit sold over here. So here it this chart clearly show this set clearly shows that Samsung is a clear leader with over more than 9,000 units, and uh, it is followed by Motorola with around 6,169 units, and it is then followed by Google, which is 5,326 units. So here in this case, as we just spoke, as we just discussed, Apple has uh, even though Apple had a high selling point over here in the top 10 smartphone models with iPhone 14, overall their overall brand sales are at the lowest with just 1,435 units, and it is the possibly just due to fewer models in the data sets over here. So this indicates that there's opportunity there's opportunity for Apple. Like the Apple dominates the flagship models over here, while Android brands are winning here in terms of volume. So based on this data, marketing strategies must account for uh, this segment in order to increase the sales. Let's take on to the next chart, which says sales trend by release year and carrier. You'll see this chart is been created based on the release year, which is from 2020 to 2022, and the number of units sold. And you will see there are a lot of trends over here with various colors, uh, and each and every color is represented by a different carrier. For example, if you see this red color over here, this trend is from T-Mobile, as you'll see from this filter over here, T-Mobile. The lowest one is the Sprint one, which is colored in orange color. So this is how each and every data is created. So you'll see here. So the cells are picked in. So all of the cells are picked here in the year of 2021, particularly for T-Mobile, which reached over 4,400, more than 4,400 units. Yeah, and after 2021, there is a sharp decline observed, likely due to fewer products launched or delayed consumer upgrades. On the other hand, Verizon and Sprint maintain a constant growth over here until 2021, but T-Mobile clearly gained the most market share during the peak year. So this trend suggests that aligning product launches with T-Mobile promotions or exclusive releases will that will help to maximize reach, and especially during the peak upgrade cycles. So this is what this chart shows. Going on to the next chart, which shows the total sales by operating system. In this case, you will see the release year at the bottom and the number of units sold by on the y-axis, and you will see the two trends over here with Android and operating system, which is Android and iOS. So in this case, you will see there's a lot of trend increase Android in terms of Android. So Android system phones are overwhelmingly dominating with more than around 15,000 units sold compared to the iOS in 2021. However, we need to note that here that between 2020 and 2022, this gap is getting narrowed. It's showing that iOS is holding its ground at specific time points, possibly linked to the flagship releases over here. So the implications here are clear. As per this data, we can see that Android powers volumes cells are there, but iOS creates a periodic surges, which is ideal for limited edition or premium launch backed by strong seasonal marketing. So this is the what we get the observation from this chart. If you go to the next chart, which says sales by carrier, you'll see at the x-axis there are like various carriers over there, like T-Mobile, the unlocked version of the phone, Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T with the number of units sold. at the y-axis, and you will see the number of units sold at the top as well. So you will see on these charts uh, here, you will see that in terms of like sales by carrier, T-Mobile and unlocked version over here are at the highest, and they're at the top list, and exceeding both around 6,800 units each. While Verizon and Sprint are closely behind with around 6,250, more than 6,250 units. And while AT&T is at the lowest with 5,656 units. So this trend highlights that the T-Mobile's continued growth is the real strength here, and the growth in unlocked version sales indicating that consumer preference for flexibility. That means that that's the information we get from here by the sales by carrier. So in this case, as I said, like the T-Mobile and Unlock was already preferred ones within 2020 and 2022. Let's go to the next chart, which shows regional sales distribution. In terms of regional sales distribution, I will see I created charts based on the number of units sold, and on the x-axis you will see the various US regions like Midwest, Northeast, South, and West, and these are the bars which shows the number of units sold in that region. If you see, all of the regions have comparable totals over here. Like they're in the range of like 8,000, 7,700 to 8,000. Not that this gap is not that much bigger in terms of sales. All regions have comparably same totals, but the South and Midwest are at the currently ahead in terms of units sold with around 8,055 and 8,014 units respectively. The Northeast and West are followed by each closely around 7,800 units. So this data shows that there is no extreme outline here, but South and Midwest could be a greater candidates for increased inventory and localized advertising, especially for Android brands. So, so that's the observations which we got from here. And as I said, like I have some filters at the top where you can generally take on this data. So, for example, brand and strategy, right? If you want to, if you want to see a specific brand sales, then I will just click on one of the color. Suppose I want to see only for OnePlus. You see, I got the sales for OnePlus. If I click on Xiaomi, getting everything for Xiaomi. So yeah, that's the coolest part of this Tableau. You will see at the right corner which says the carrier as well. So if I want to filter the data by carrier, if I want to see any of the carrier over here, I'll just click on carrier, which says, for example, if I want to see the data from T-Mobile, if I click on T-Mobile, you see I'm getting the trend for T-Mobile with sales trends by release year carrier. I'm also getting the T-Mobile unit sales by carrier itself. So it shows all of this data. So this is how you can filter it out. There is also a term which says uh, zone cells by what do you say, the region. In this case, if you want to see, so currently we were seeing the total US cells. If I want to see any specific region cells, then I would just click on any of these cells like Midwest. If I click on Midwest, you saw that there is a lot of date change in the data. If I go to the South cells, see all of this data is getting changed. So this is how after clicking on each and every region you can get the data. Another thing is like here you'll see the start date and end date over here. So if I wanna see the periodic changes from like 2020 2022, then I would just drag this point from here to ahead. You see there's a lot of things changing over here. This is how you're seeing a trend change in the trend, and even end date you can change it based on however you want. So this is how the data is, that you can analyze this data. Yep. So we got to know about all of these things. Now let's take on to the strategic recommendation that, as a marketing analyst, I would suggest. So the first would be, my recommendation would be to have, company should have a marketing and advertising strategy here. So focus should be here on promotions like Midwest and South regions where value devices thrive. They can also position Apple campaigns in urban areas, especially timed with flagship releases where premium demand are high. They can second recommendation. My second recommendation would be, prioritize strategic carrier partnerships. Like they can prioritize T-Mobile for new Android launches. You'll see because T-Mobile is increasing with the Android, increasing sales in terms of, and leveraging its strong 2020 spike and top carrier performance. They can also consider unlock version partnership with online retailers like Amazon and Best Buy for wide reach. Third will be, supply chain optimization. They can allocate those higher stock volumes to South and Midwest warehouses for cost efficiency. As you'll see there, they are at highest units sold. They can also monitor 2021 trend spikes to plan supply chain lead times, particularly for quarter three and quarter four peak seasons. They can fourth one would be, Android versus iOS positioning. They can use Android's diversity, to cover entry to mid-level price points. They can also reserve iOS for premium and timely launches, which we should create exclusively and leveraging the Apple search over the years. So that's the marketing, strategy recommendations which I would give based on the analysis of this data. So to wrap up, so this dashboard has revealed some key insights that we'll take on that we have already discussed. So let's take on them quickly. So here Samsung and Motorola are dominating the sales volume. Second thing is Apple here is winning in terms of, flagship categories, but lags in terms of overall volumes, overall units sold. T-Mobile and Unlock Voice devices are critical cells over here, and they're running the most of the market. And regional patterns are relatively balanced over here, if you saw, with South and Midwest is slightly outperforming. So these insights can directly support smarter marketing, product launch timing, say retail placement, and even pricing strategy. So that's all from my side. Thank you everyone for your time. I'll be happy to take on your questions or provide any additional details on any of these visualizations. You can go over this data and make the various visualizations, track their performance, and get on the strategy recommendations that are suggested. And yep, let me know if you need anything. Thank you.